And tell me your full name.
My full name is Parul.
Okay. Do you have hobbies?
Well, yes, I have a couple of hobbies, which include watching movies and reading novels.
Fine. What is your favorite sport?
Well, my favorite sport is badminton, I would say, because I have played it since childhood and I thoroughly enjoy it.
How often do you use app on phone?
Well, I guess our day starts by using applications on mobile phones. So my go-to app is WhatsApp because that is the common one which we use for communication. And I would say every day, and I think every hour we are using applications.
Okay. What app do you use more often?
So as I mentioned, WhatsApp is the most commonly used app for me because that is the one which is used for all the communication and sending text or video or audio messages. So that is the messaging app which I use the most.
Do you play any game on your phone?
Well, I'm not a very good gamer. So I don't have the habit of playing games on mobile phones or computers for that matter.
Have you ever paid for any app?
Well, no. Most of the applications of daily usage are available for free. Thanks to that, because so the only payment that I do is for getting the internet connection on my
Okay. How have apps improved over the last decades?
Well, the entire face of technology has improved tremendously in the past decade. So earlier, mobile phones weren't that common, but today we have smartphones which can do lots of things for us and are easily affordable by a lot of people, even the poor ones. And moreover, numerous applications for all the trivial needs of our everyday lives are available with us.
Okay. If you could make any app, what would it be?
Well, once I had this idea about an application that could help people place orders on e-commerce apps such as Amazon or Flipkart. So generally, people have these deals which are available only when they purchase products of a higher price, or they have lots of products to purchase. But generally, it's not the limit. Like people do not have so many things to purchase. So maybe more people can collaborate to place a single order when they are located.
Okay. Which apps will be more popular in the future?
I would say the apps which are popular today will be popular in the future as well, because they are related to our daily usage. For example, social networking that has become a part and parcel of our lives. So applications such as Instagram and Facebook, which are famous today, will be famous even in the future because they are the major players. However, we have seen advent of other apps which are indigenous as well, because they have been made by the developers of our country. So in certain situations, when the relationships or ties between different countries are not so good, then the apps pertaining to that region will be diminished.
Okay, fine. That is the end of part 1.
Okay.
Now we are moving toward part 2. I am going to give a topic and you have 1 minute. You make some note if you wish. And your topic is talk about a person you consider very... My time is over. Okay. And now you start your topic. I will stop you when your time is up. Okay.
So here I would like to talk about my cousin, who is my mother's elder son. And I'll let you know how he is very brave. So when he was in around class 11th or 12th, a time when children are at a very crucial stage of their studies, his mother passed away in a road accident. And as we all know, mothers are the foundation of any family, and it was shook to the core. And soon after, because of increased tension and stress levels, my uncle suffered brain hemorrhage. So both the parents were literally not available for him, and he had the responsibility of a younger brother as well. So he, despite all these difficult situations, he didn't lose his cool and took all the responsibility upon himself and he completed his studies as well as looked after the entire household. He took care of his father and also ensured a proper education for his younger brother. And that is why, because of his indeterminable spirit and positivity, even today I respect him a lot and take lots of inspiration from him.
Okay, that is the end of part 2, and get me the papers and pen back.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now in part 3, questions related to topic. What are some different ways that people can be brave?
Well, I would say it's not the physical strength that makes a person brave, but the emotional strength and the willpower and determination that defines bravery, in my opinion. So even a person who is differently abled can be brave if he or she has a positive attitude towards life and is facing all the difficulties with strength.
Okay. Which of these take the most courage and why?
Which of these?
Whatever you mentioned.
Okay, I would say the most strength is required to face and accept your shortcomings, to identify that you lag somewhere, and to take it in your stride. To accept failure as a part and parcel of life is the most brave, is the bravest thing, I would say. And to not have to accept the to accept the failures and try to improve yourselves and come back after a setback is the most important thing.
Okay, some people think that being brave is often also being foolish. Why do people say this?
Well, I think this perception has developed because brave people often face the brunt of the powerful people. For example, we have seen incidents of various journalists and IAS officers who were true and honest to their jobs, getting shot by goons and thugs, and without any fair trial, and nobody has ever been arrested for all those murders. So that is the level of that is the system, corrupt system in our society, and hence for the common people who are not so brave, they consider that such brave people who stood up for others were rather foolish.
How has technology had an influence on people's bravery?
Well, technology helps propagate what is happening around us. So if something bad or wrong has happened with a true person or an honest person in a different part of the world, which doesn't reach so easily, technology helps it, because even the common person can propagate the news. For example, in Jammu and Kashmir or in Bihar these days, if some incident which the government wishes to cover it up, even that can be reached to the masses.
Okay.
That can be propagated to the masses because of the availability of technology with the common people.
Okay. Why are people so driven to create technology which elicits fear, such as fast cars?
So in cities, the lives of people, the general lives of people have become very mundane with office work and familial responsibilities. So they miss that fun from their lives. And at times they cannot afford to, or they don't have the time to go for long vacations with adventurous sports, etc. So that fun part element is missing. And I think that these games are the way to get back to that fun for these people, and hence it's very popular amongst the masses as well. And I think this is the reason why there is so much demand, and so gamers try to develop those graphics with such detail, such that it becomes as close to reality as possible in such simulations.
Let's talk about self-sacrifice.
Okay.
What are the common reasons people sacrifice their health and safety?
So I guess when, for example, doctors working in a pandemic situation, they are sacrificing their health as well as their safety for their duty. So in such situation, their work comes first before themselves and their families, and that is the bravest thing that these people do for us. So the corona frontline workers are the perfect example of when people sacrifice their own health and safety for others.
Okay. Is this always good?
We have also seen people putting their safety at risk out of just the lust for excitement in their lives. For example, we have seen various people standing up on difficult terrains and cliffs in order to get selfies so that they can post it on social media and get likes.
Okay.
So that is a foolish thing, I would say. So they are trying to be brave and get famous amongst their peers. However, that is a foolish thing, and at times ends up with their deaths as well. So it's not always good to put your life or health at risk.
Okay. How can people minimize risk when placing themselves in harm's way to help others? So
here again, I would like to go back to the example of corona frontline workers. So here the government has a lot of role, a big role to play in the safety of these workers when they are putting themselves at risk.
Okay.
So their proper PPE kits and instruments must be the priority of the government before anything else, so that at least their own lives are can be saved when they are catering to the needs of the infected people. And for themselves, I would say they should always ensure proper safety measures before undertaking such serious missions.
Okay. What can society do to help with this?
I would say the recognition itself is a very moving thing for these people. So when they are appreciated for the noble work that they do. So here I would like to add the example of soldiers as well, who protect our country from the security risks across the borders. So they put themselves in difficult situations. So I think the society must respect them and give them appreciation and proper awards and respect for their families and proper care to their families as well, so that they do not feel the stress of worrying about their families when they are at work.
Okay, in some countries, adventurous sports are being more popular these days. Some people believe that these games should be banned. What do you think?
Well, I think banning them completely is not the solution, because at times these are the means of, as I mentioned, the fulfilling the fun that is absent in their mundane lives. So I guess banning them is not good, but perhaps increasing the safety standards in all these sports and banning those providers who put their customers' lives at risk and taking serious action on them is a must.
Okay, thank you. This is the end of part 3.